We're about to kick off Financial Literacy Month, and CNBC has launched a financial education initiative. It's called Invest in You, Ready, Set, Grow. It's all part of a new partnership we have with Acorns, the savings and investing app. And we're digging into all of this so you can get through these crazier times and be knowledgeable. Guess what else is around now? Proxy season. For investors, it's the most wonderful time of the year when a huge number of public companies hold their annual meetings and you, the shareholders, get to vote on all sorts of major decisions. It's the 1 month where we're reminded that corporate executives ultimately work for you. And that's why it's such a shame that most home gamers don't actually vote for their shares. Look, I get it. The process is confusing. It's a pain in the neck. And if you're a regular person, you probably don't own enough stock for your vote, at least you think, to move the needle. But I think that's the wrong way to look at it entirely. If you're going to invest in individual companies, you should be engaged with what's happening at these companies. It's your job. You deserve to participate in all these decisions. After all, you're watching the show, which means you must be savvy, well-informed, and incredibly good-looking. All right, well-informed. That's why tonight I want to help you enjoy the fun of proxy season, which brings me to Broadridge Financial Solutions, the financial technology company that helps banks run more efficiently and communicate more easily with their clients. Among other things, Broadridge is one of the leading providers of proxy voting services, and its chairman is a passionate advocate of shareholder engagement. So let's check in with Richard Daly, he's the executive chairman and former CEO of Broadridge Financial Solutions, to learn more about why investor engagement matters and how you can vote your shares. Mr. Daly, welcome back to Mad Money. Thank you so much, Rich. Have a seat.
Jim, great to be back.
Okay, so let's go right to it. Why should people even pay attention? Why? Tell me why. I mean, there's big institutions. What do they mean? Does it ever matter?
All right, so Jim, why when we do a national election does everybody run to Ohio? Because Ohio matters. Because Ohio can go one way or the other. So particularly in proxy contests, all right, where the vote can go one way or the other, the biggest contests of recent history, like a P&G, were decided by retail investors.
Like people watch the show.
Your viewers, right. All right? They really matter, all right? Now, voting is easy. As you said, this is the most wonderful time of the year, proxy season. Right. They can go on their phone, okay? If there's registered, 70% of your viewers are registered to vote electronically and receive the information electronically. So through that, with 3 clicks, I got 6 proxies this morning. In the middle of the night, they came in. Before I had my coffee in the morning, I voted my 6 proxies, okay? Took less than 3 minutes, all right? And my voice is now being heard. So they matter. Company management and boards know they matter, and they want to hear from them.
And what do you forgo if you don't do it?
What you forgo is the same thing that happens in the rest of our lives. You have a voice. You're here standing up for them. Companies will be more influenced the more retail investors that vote, and activists will take note of retail investors the more they vote.
Bristol Myers has come on several times. I've talked to Giovanni Cafario, and I think he's done a remarkable job. He's got to merge. He needs it because he's running out of, his pipe is not as strong as he'd like. So he's buying Celgene. This is one where there is even what we call a black box, an S&P fund that is voting against this deal. How important is this? How individual votes, who will determine this in your mind?
If it's going to be a tight election, which many of these issues that you just described, where people can look at it pretty evenly one way or the other, it will come down to the retail investor. Because remember, 1/3 of all shares in North America are owned by retail. Retail is only voting at a 1/3 rate.
That's all?
Through your education, we need to get that rate up to a much higher percent. Institutional investors voted over 90%.
Oh, geez, boy, I didn't know it was that low. That's disappointing.
Well,
it really is.
But it's easy.
Right. Now, this afternoon, Tim Sloan resigned because he felt he was being a hindrance to the bank. If there were, I always feel that if people were against him, he would have lost in proxy season. But he didn't.
No, he didn't.
And so he's bowing to the wishes of others, not his shareholders, who, if they really felt he was at fault, I would think that they would boot him. Has it ever happened, though, that that CEOs are booted by the proxy?
There have been contests where CEOs either didn't get the support they need, or even in other activities like Say on Pay, where boards have taken action. Okay. All right? Now, your investors are looking to make money.
Yes.
Most retail investors are longer term than people give them credit for.
Right.
So it's that longer term view And those investors who need this for their retirement, fund the kids' education, they need to get involved and look at not what does it mean to me today, but if I got a good stock and it's going to be a good long-term stock, let me get behind this management, show them I support them, and give them the intestinal fortitude to make those long-term decisions.
Rich, younger people, when I ask them about why don't you own stock, they say, well, because you know why they don't own stock? Because these companies are not sustainable. They're not purpose-led. They're not mission-driven. Should those be on a proxy?
What's on the proxy gives you access to the performance results. There's always a management letter which they tell you what their values are, what their goals are, okay?
They have mission
you can look at
statements.
that performance, you can match it to that, and you can participate. Now, Jim, you talk about younger investors.
Yeah.
The way many people first get into investing is in mutual funds. And I really have an important, I'll call it the Cramer Broadridge public service announcement.
All right, let's see it.
Okay, about mutual funds. So effective January 1, the SEC came out with Rule 30E3. Don't need to know the number, don't need to read the rule. What you need to know is if you're a mutual fund investor and you're receiving paper today, 2 years from January 1 of this year, January 1, 2021, you will no longer get this paper unless you take action.
Oh, well, that's stupid if you don't get you need the paper.
Now, but I have good news.
Okay.
It's going to be real easy.
All right.
For
We got to
street
get people to do
investors,
it.
you're going to get an envelope, very likely from Broadridge with your broker's name on it. There's a QR code right on it, okay?
Okay,
You
just
put your
wave?
phone over it, you go, bring it to a broker's site. Now, the great news is you can sign up right then and there for electronic delivery.
All right.
Which means you'll get all your proxies that way, you'll be able to vote in 3 clicks, and you'll get your funds that way.
Well, let me ask you one last question, not for mutual funds. If you have dual classes stock, like Lyft, which is coming tomorrow, why should I bother to vote? I mean, I can't impact those guys. They're gerrymandered.
Dual classes of stock, shareholders have different rights.
Right.
Okay?
Not as
But when
good.
you buy it, you went in there eyes open knowing that.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Well, look, this is a great mission that you're on. It's a great mission that I'm on. We need education. Education is the most important thing when it comes to stocks. Education. That's Rich Daly. He's executive chairman of Broadridge, symbol BR. Oh, by the way, they do a great job, too, but I wanted you to be doing a great job as a shareholder. Mad Money's back after the break. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.